Hello viewers, this is Paladin of Odin, and this is some more Magic the Gathering Online. This is another episode of the Standard Commentary series. And I think tomorrow will be... No, today. Today is actually 1 week since Oath of the Gatewatch has come out. So we'll have some good deck lists now. And there's been ample amount of time for Oath to trickle into all the decks. Ooh. So, Transgress the Mind was an early play that got rid of a Thought-Knot Seer. Wasteland Strangler just put it back in his graveyard to kill off a Hangerback Walker. He attacks in with the Thopters. Double Ruins of Oran Reef. Corrupted Crossroads. Crumbling Vestige. Crossroads and Seagate Wreckage on the other side. Transgress the Mind. Ooh, gets rid of a Reality Smasher. Leaves him with 2 lands. But this guy looks like he's running a mostly colorless deck. The other side looks like he's running kind of a Black Eldrazi, maybe. In fact, I've been looking at making a cheap Black Eldrazi deck for my own so that I can actually start playing some Standard. It won't be, top tier quality for, Standard tournaments or anything, but it'll at least give me something I can play with. I also considered trying to build a solid colorless deck. Ooh, Matter Reshaper from the black side. Attacks in with the Wasteland Strangler. And he blocks with the Hangerback Walker, buffs it up to 3/3. And Ruins. Turns 1 into a 2/2. So he makes 2 2/2 Thopters. Ooh, Ghostfire Blade. Well, he's almost out of cards. The other side has 4, but he's stuck on 3 mana. And in go the Flyers. And there's nothing the black deck can do to stop them. That was a massive hit. 9 damage, he goes down to 6. And concedes. Concedes on turn 6. Yeah, he was stuck on 3 mana for far too long. So let's go to game 2. I'm actually quite interested to see what both of these decks can do. If the black deck is mono black Eldrazi, that'll be interesting. The almost totally colorless deck, I posted a video of that on Saturday of a colorless deck that I saw. And I was wondering whether I would keep seeing them. And it looks like this guy might have taken that idea as well. Alright, 2 solid minutes of sideboarding, and within 2 turns we see that the mono black deck, as I thought, is actually running 2 colors, at least, and the mono colorless deck, I thought, is actually running with black. Transgress the Mind gets rid of a Murderous Cut, leaves him with Transgress the Mind, Blighted Fen, Hangerback Walker, another Transgress the Mind, Bearer of Silence, and Matter Reshaper. And the mono black side returns the favor with a Transgress the Mind of his own. And something I was thinking about seeing him try to deal with all of those little creatures was, there are a couple of really cheap. Okay, he gets rid of Wasteland Strangler, Horribly Awry, Ruins of Warren Reef, Thought Not Seer, and Flaying Tendrils. That's what I was just about to talk about. There's a couple of really cheap cards that you could get your hands on. They're not really high powered, they're not a languish, but, they cost about the same in mana cost. But Flaying Tendrils gives all creatures -2/-2, and if they die, they get exiled, which works really well for your, like Wasteland Strangler and things like that. Some of the Eldrazi's. And then another one is Rising Miasma, which Flaying Tendrils takes 2 black and 2 generic, and Rising Miasma takes 1 black and 3 generic. So same cost, same effect, -2/-2 to all creatures. You don't get the exile effect with Rising Miasma, but Rising Miasma could be a late on play that gets you another creature because it has Awaken for, I think, 8. I think it's like 2 black and... It might be 2 black and 5 color... Not colorless, generic. Still trying to remember that. So, Hangerback Walker gets Warping Whale, which, so far, I really like this card. I am certain that in years past, if I had seen a card like that, I would have been like, that is utter garbage. Why would anybody play with that? But now I know, this is actually really, really useful. And it looks like they've both managed to slow each other down enough so that it basically looks like nothing's happening. Okay, so I just noticed Sunken Hollow on the mono black side. So they're both running blue black. I'll call it blue black Eldrazi decks. And he has a Dimensional Infiltrator. 2 mana, 1 blue and 1 generic, so 2 total for a 2/1 devoid flash flying. That alone would be not a bad card. It'd be, not exactly that robust, or I'm trying to think. There's another word that I was trying to think of just now. Useful in different situations. And there's Flaying Tendrils. That'll get rid of both of these creatures. Matter Reshaper will not... Well, he might... I don't know. I'm pretty sure he doesn't trigger because he gets exiled instead of stays in the graveyard. Dimensional Infiltrator, though, what I was about to say about it was it has really good evasion. You pay... What was it? A colorless... and a generic, and exile the top card of your opponent's library, and he bounces back to your hand. He has decent protection for himself. He's not a very tough creature, not a real aggressive creature, but, a 2/1 flying isn't bad for, a block in this standard, because I'll be honest, there aren't a whole lot of creatures that have flying that people use. It's just one of those creature abilities that you don't see very often. So the Thought Not Seer got rid of Bearer of Silence. Oops. Leaves him with Disdainful Stroke and Horribly Awry. So he has counterspells in his hand just waiting to be able to be used. Matter Reshaper goes with the Horribly Awry. So Reshaper gets exiled before it even hits the field. Plays a land, so we know he top-decked that land. And this is really not looking good for the since it looks like they're running the same deck, the Birds of Paradise. You know, so far, he hasn't had an answer to this single Thought-Knot Seer. Transgress the Mind from Birds. Gets rid of a Matter Reshaper, and what is he? Ravager of the Fells. He has a Wasteland Strangler and a Bearer of Silence in his hand. So, he actually has a really good hand to deal with any creatures that Birds plays. 4 more damage from Thought-Knot Seer. Birds is down to 5. He needs an answer to this Thought-Knot Seer, and he didn't get it. He concedes. And I'm just thinking just now, I was thinking, a mono black Eldrazi deck would be pretty good in Standard, but seeing those two decks made me realize that being mono black Eldrazi would actually not be as good as being blue black Eldrazi because of all the options that you gain in blue. The counter spells, the draw cards, some of the other Eldrazi that are good. But I'll end the video there. That was a blue-black Eldrazi mirror. And if you liked what you saw, hit that like and subscribe button for